Hello everyone, my name is Adreden, and I'm just going to talk about my vacation today. So if you're new to the channel, this is not what I normally do. I usually play 7 Days to Die or some other sort of survival game. For you, those of you who've been here a long time, this is probably more what interests you. This video is basically just going to be a cut up slideshow and just going to try to cover it. I need to probably slim it down a bit more. We'll see from the time of re-recording this. Anyhow, this is basically part of my trip, is this blue line here. So I started in this general area and basically drove along Highway 1 down to a town called Chilliwack, stayed the night there for my first night. I don't really have any pictures of that because it's it was dark and cold and rainy. Like, it was so rainy that you could barely see anything on the road. Anyhow, overnight it cleared up, made us go across here and along this road, and then we went over to Hope, and then somehow went up here. Man, Google Navigate sometimes is just like, this way is 5 minutes faster, take it, and you're like, sure. You're like, where the heck am I? just if your phone lost service somewhere in there, you would just be totally screwed and lost. Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of insane. I mean, maybe this is a better view. You know, the white is snow-capped mountains, these are rocky mountains, and the green and stuff, like, these are all like big mountain passes and stuff. Anyways, you'll see what that kind of looks like. Yeah, anyways, we drove through Merritt, came through Kamloops, up through the Shuswap area. We stayed in Revelstoke for a night, which was, you know, it was nice. The next day we traveled to Golden, and we were thinking, hey, maybe we'll go over this way. Nah, let's go down this way, because it's actually a little bit faster to the sort of this area, where I have some people to visit. And so yeah, we went around and went and visited them, and I've got lots of pictures there. And then we went over to visit some other people over in Lethbridge, Alberta. Then it gets a bit weird. We went back to over here, and then what exactly happened? Yeah, I guess we went here, up and through Claire's home, Stavely, Nanton, and then over, I think here, up here, and this is where it gets a bit crazy. Maybe here, this way, up over to Drumhellar. Anyway, Drumhellar is a pretty cool place. It's a great big badlands. It's got some pretty darn unique, it's a pretty cool biome, let's put it that way. It's a cool biome. And we went to the world's largest dinosaur, and we went to the Royal Tyrrell Museum. It got super windy. Anyways, we had to go, and then we went to Calgary. Yeah, because it's such a cool little place. Went back over to Calgary, roughly over here, kind of drove somewhere along one of these roads down through Adreden, and stayed with some people there for a couple days. Went to the zoo. The zoo is somewhere down here. I think it's this guy. Yeah, in there. Animals. 3D view. Come on, computer. Get with the times. Get some internet. Yeah, so it was pretty cool. We did some stuff in there. Went to see some more dinosaurs over in this area. And then we drove home. That was another couple days. That was going back along this route. Some beautiful mountains up in here. You know, Banff is, you know, world known for how beautiful it is. And drove quite a bit that first day, going back all the way to past Revelstoke, just a bit, a place called the Enchanted Forest. There it is. But it was closed for the season, so I don't have any cool pictures from this year. I could probably put pictures in from last year, but I don't know. That seems a bit weird to do that. So anyways, mountains. Depending on where you're from, they may be pretty cool. I grew up in the mountains, not in these particular ones, but somewhere. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh yeah, we had a stop in Kamloops on our way up. Everything was pretty good until we got into this pass, and then this pass here was very much covered in snow because it was snowing, and then but more so even through this one in here, it was very, very, I don't know. Yeah, snowy. What can I say? And we stopped somewhere pretty high up there. Got some pictures of that. And then yeah, basically drove. Well, yeah, we stayed the first night over in Salmon Arm, which I've got some pictures of, and then back down to Chilliwack and back over into this area. So yeah, let's I'll show some pictures now. Okay, so there's lots of mountain pictures taken from mostly inside of the car. And yeah, so some of them are good, some of them are bad. Kind of just shows you like how steep these mountains are. It was very, cloudy a lot of the trip back, but we went up in early April, or sorry, late April, when I knew that it was sort of springish, so it would be kind of nice, kind of not nice. Most of the roads were good the whole way, just it was lots of rain rather than snow, which was fine. That's good. Lots of snow here. This is just after Hope, kind of on our way to Merritt. This road, of course, was way worse on the way back, but that's okay. So yeah, this is going to be a long video, so I don't know. Enjoy it if you want. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, lots of mountains. It was, yeah, pretty good. This was a rest stop near the top. I probably should have taken more pictures while I was there, but I was busy dealing with stuff like kids. There's one of them practicing his driving skills. Yeah, so he's having fun. This is a pretty cool rainbow. I tweeted this, I think, on the way. We were basically driving into it the whole time. It was pretty cool because, yeah, the sun was like behind us, and then it was just sort of shining towards us as we kind of kept moving. So, and at different times, like here, I think it kind of looked like it was in the water, like right near us, but didn't see any gold. So what can you do? Same with this. It oftentimes seemed like it was like right on their side of these guys' fence or something, right? Just like right there. It was pretty cool. This was definitely not a double rainbow, but it was a single rainbow all the way. And that's pretty much that. Let's see. This is sort of this is all near Kamloops, actually. The cliffside here is kind of almost like it is in the Badlands of Drumhellar, but kind of not. This is all in Revelstoke. This is the next day. I just wanted to kind of get some pictures. This is the hotel room we were in. Yeah, see, not much, but it was good. It was good to be able to stop and sleep. A lot of the mountains, yeah, snow covered, and we're back on the road, kind of just like that. Big peaks. Can't have those in 7 Days to Die. They're just too tall. Man, I don't even know the altitude of some of these ones. 2,000 meters. I don't know. More than that, probably. But, kind of nice. It's my red jacket. I think some of these pictures they looked way cooler to the naked eye rather than trying to take pictures of them. Like, these mountains are very impressive. If I had like a 3D camera and this was like a 3D video, I think people would get a lot more out of it, but it's not. So what can I do? Not much. Yeah, you can probably also, if you want to see certain things, other things I talk about are like an old drawing book that I found from when I was like a teenager. So I put some of those pictures in just because. This is when we were going south from Golden. Shoot, which town was this called? Probably says on one of these signs right here. Anyways, this was a really cool sort of baseball diamond thing. I thought this would be like a kind of an interesting horde base. it's got these like, and it would only work in alpha 17 and up because the zombies would have to path around these fences. But of course you could make these out of concrete or whatever. But there's 4 directions that the zombies could come at you, and I just thought it was kind of neat having this central tower in the center. I don't know if I would ever build a base like this, but you never know, and maybe possible. I thought it was pretty cool. Just a nice little area for that. So yeah, you can see the central tower right there. Yeah, what else is there to say? This is sort of just like a closed information center on the day that we went, because it was like Easter Monday, I'm gonna say. No, Easter Sunday, I think it was. Yeah, so it was closed. Normally, I guess it was open, but it was fine. We stopped and rested. It was good. And yeah, later on, yeah, there's also the. Oh wait, this is in Fernie. Fernie was good. I've been through Fernie a lot of times. I've had a couple friends there, and I've done some actual work there when I was like in my 20s. And actually the pergola at the was it a Domino's Pizza or something over there? Put that up. That was pretty awesome. So this is getting closer to Sparwood, the Crow's Nest Pass. That mountain is Crow's Nest Mountain, but it was basically covered in clouds. It's a really cool climb, though. I really liked climbing that mountain. This is a picture from, I believe, near where we were. There's Turtle Mountain in the background there. One of the hotels we were staying in. There's a cat at our friend's house. It's not real, of course. This is something that I had from when I was a kid. And some of these are books that I wanted to maybe add to the game. This is Electricity and Magnetism. Someone gave it to me like a long time, but I think they're kind of good. This is one of the books from Michael Faraday. Mechanics of Materials. Obviously, this is going to be stuff like this would apply to construction and building new blocks, maybe very special blocks in a mod. Yeah, here's some weird drawings that I've had for a long time. This one here is a little. I used to play Magic the Gathering a lot, and so we made some things called. Well, we were making a rat deck at one point, and I wanted to add some more rats. Anyway, that's what that was. This is sort of like the thing from Warcraft, the little house, some sort of Federation starship, warship. There's my sword in one of its sort of early thought forms, but the real one never got made like that. I believe this is some kind of submarine from that I drew, thought up. This is a still life from one of the houses I grew up in. Speakers, records. This is not a still life, but I thought it was fun to just draw a nighttime scene of sort of a henge. Here's probably some kind of nasty biome that I drew when I was a teenager. Some kind of mech that I thought was cool. Used to love Mech Warrior. Some various weapons that I thought were kind of neat. Some thing that I was inspired to draw because I was watching the ceiling fan. I don't know. Some weird druid magic guy. Some sort of weird underwater creature guy. I don't know. This just, I guess, gives you a small insight into my mind as a teenager. So there you go. Once again, that axe. Some kind of weird bioarmor. I was definitely into sci-fi. You can tell as a kid. And here we go. Off on the road again. This is what the prairies look like. They are flat ass. Flat. They're a biome. Man, they are a biome. You have no idea how big they are. They are huge. This is my friend's garage. I'm taking this as a proof of concept that people have lots of bikes in their garages and motorbikes in their garages. This person has 2, maybe 3. Yeah, there's like one back here, which is a small one, and then there's a bigger one, or there's this one up here with the red. I think this was a picture of an auger and a bunch of other random industrial stuff just on the side of the road. Anyways, after that visit was over, drove back. It was a beautiful sunset. And so we just took some pictures of the big sky. Because, I mean, if you're in a place that has a plain or like a flat flat area, you can see for a long time, and it just makes these really beautiful skies, you know. Here's another toy that I've been thinking about putting back into a thing. This is a smart gun from Aliens, but I think a smart gun would be a fun weapon to have versus zombies. Sort of an ultimate kind of weapon that you'd find in a military facility. It'll be something, maybe. We'll see. I took these pictures because this was sort of like a bunch of stuff in their yard. Yeah, a stockpile of wood, because that happens. These are a bunch of, there's a maul axe and a bunch of tools in the previous picture, just to kind of show this is a bunch of tools and just stuff that sometimes people have just in their garages. We've got buckets, it could be rain buckets or buckets of oil, tools on the walls, cables, all kinds of things that you just, you know, you find. There's a saw that you just aren't in some of these games, right? Like, this is just sort of sometimes what you find in, around. All these shovels, wheelbarrows. I would love a wheelbarrow in 7 Days to Die. This is a bunch of lead weights. This is a setup to turn lead weights into sort of storage chunks of lead, you know, just made in like cast iron frying pans. So there you go. That's sort of what that's about. A tool chest, maybe some fishing rods are those? I don't know. All kinds of stuff. Hinges, if you play Ravenhurst, hinges. There you go. There's a whole bunch of them just together. I guess this is a hedge trimmer. That's a pretty cool hedge trimmer. Maybe we need one of those. More of a supply of wood, you know, just a giant thing, because winter gets cold. Winter gets cold. Another bike, a boat. So another sledgehammer outside. Plus, I think this is a pry bar. This is a bunch of plants that are stored, or stuff for planting. In a small little greenhouse. So, you know, there's an option to have stuff in maybe the game, and just sort of, you know, see what we could do with it. If maybe the mod goes in that direction here. Screwdriver, hinges, hammer, a trailer, because, you know, vehicles have trailers, a lawnmower, and there's a cook stove right there, which would be kind of nice in the game. A pile of random junk, but there's a bucket, so I kind of took a picture of it. There's an axe just right there by this picnic table on the other side. A couple of other tools. On this chair, man, there was so many awesome tools. And this stuff just happens. You know, you just go to people's places and you find that kind of stuff. Here's a path that we went up that I took some pictures of. It was still like ice in the water, so it was like flowing over top of that. So, yeah. This is in Coleman, Alberta. And, yeah, it's just back behind in the town there. It's a very nice walk. It's probably no more than half an hour. So, yeah. Just, that's that. More pictures. Pretty steep valley with lots of trees in it. Some of this I took kind of somewhat as reference pictures. There's another part of the steep valley with the scree. I'd like to figure out how to make scree. Something with like a very low frictional coefficient, kind of like a gravel. Yeah, this would be a pretty fun thing to add, I think. This is just, yeah, more of the stream. And I drank out of this stream so many times as a kid. So, you know, it's not murky water. And I would probably drink out of it today. So it's, you know, mountain fed. I wouldn't say it's glacier fed because we don't have glaciers there, but it's sort of mountain fed, and pretty awesome. So this is the falls at the top. Some more ice that's all sort of all over the place. And this is something called the Frank Slide. Something that I loved to run across. Basically, an enormous chunk of this mountain in the background here fell off and buried a town, came towards one of the other towns. And this mountain is still kind of dangerous. I've climbed up this many times, but these rocks are really fun to run across. One of these days I want to get a GoPro and just bolt across them and then put that on YouTube for you guys, because it is one of the most fun things to do. So, anyhow, it takes maybe 5 minutes to drive through. It was like one of the worst mine disasters in Canada. This is one of the mountains near one of the places I live. This is another friend's junkyard. Just a bunch of bikes just stored there. More tools just sitting out. There's so many tools that this doesn't really matter. Oh, and rimmed tires and other things. This is just some of the area around it. This is one of their cupboards. This is like a junkyard, so it's, got a bunch of stuff in it. This is a fully stocked medicine cabinet. That's what they look like before the apocalypse. Just gonna say that. Found this freaking cool wrench. Pretty friggin' big and heavy. Then I was shown this wrench, and I was just like, oh my good god. It is really freaking heavy. Oh yeah, then that was like just before we were driving to Drumhellar. So this is sort of a bunch of pictures of the hotel that we stayed in. A bunch of these things were done in, I guess, the plaster stuff that you have in the thing. I thought it was really well done. It's like, they're there. It's sort of just like any other kind of art. I don't know, it's hard to see the one on the roof here, but there's this sort of florally furnished thing. This is the hotel it was. Yeah, it was pretty cool. There's a little dinosaur there that there should be a picture of in a moment. Not that guy. That's another piece of art on the wall. I don't know. Thought it was cool. I was thinking of Ravenhurst and their fossils at the time, so I was like, another picture of the town. Drumhellar. Just these little triceratopses and other dinosaurs are like all over the town. You can get a sort of a feel for the size of them based on this. So there's a metal dinosaur right there. There's the world's biggest dinosaur right there. That thing is huge. It got really windy. It was kind of scary up there. We'll talk about that. Where are we at here? Stegosaurus. Then more dinosaurs at this place. We didn't actually go into that one. I think it was closed on that day. This dinosaur is kind of modeled after Dino from Flintstones. This is just a picture of the biome, as in like being kind of close up to it. Very multi-layered stuff. This is the Tyrrell Museum. I figured to take a picture of this because it's kind of scary. If you were to actually face a creature that big, just some art inside the entryway. Yeah, there's a bunch of dinosaurs. They're scary if you were there. They are, yeah, kind of big. This is sort of what their interpretation of what the biome looked like at the time. It was a pretty cool little area. If you haven't been to Tyrrell Museum, you should probably go. It's pretty awesome. You can learn a lot about dinosaurs and evolution. Yeah, just to get the scale of them. Right? These guys are just barely standing above me, and yet they're way up there. And now just a bunch of fossils and stuff coming up. So fossils. This is a pretty cool expanded skull of a T-Rex. So I took a bunch of pictures of it. One side is assembled, the other side is artfully taken apart. Just to kind of see the anatomy parts of it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, pretty much all animal skulls are made up of smaller bones that are all sort of fused together and whatnot. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Hadrosaurus, maybe? I don't know. I think so. I'm gonna try to get some of these right. A crocodile and one of those little guys will have like the horns over their eyebrows. Here's some limbs of different animals. You can see the similarities between them. This is the evolution of the hoof of a horse. This was one of the domed-headed dinosaurs, which totally eludes me as I'm doing this quick talk through. There's a cool like ankylosaurus-ish thing. It's not an ankylosaurus, but or an ankylosaurus. This guy again, much closer. Just a really cool, looks like a dragon almost, other than the big dome on its head. If you were to flatten that out maybe and put horns on it. Here's an ammonite, I believe it was. Probably says ammonite. This is a bunch of skulls from animals that are related to us in our evolution. This is a fossil of a, I don't know, small dinosaur that I believe is like a, I don't know if it's a T-Rex, but yeah, basically some kind of frilled one. Duckbill dinosaur and probably a Hadrosaurus. I don't know, lots of things of these dinosaurs. More ammonites. Seem to have a bunch of these pictures. It was really cool because it was very iridescent. the enamel lacquer. I don't know if this is probably a real one because it's behind glass. So in the field, this just talks about doing archaeology. It was a little slideshow. Here's some of the cool tools that they have. I like this chainsaw thing. This is sort of the plaster stuff that goes around the things as they go. More tools that they might use in excavating dinosaurs. I thought this was a really cool size for a creature to have. I don't know. We'll see. Fish. Some sort of ancient fish. Actually a fairly large shrimp thing. Or krill or something. This was like a clearing room, kind of like they would take the stuff off the animals. I've got a couple more pictures of that, but various information about other creatures. Here's that guy again, this sort of sea creature thing. It was neat artistic wiry stuff on that one. And this giant, it's not a bear. I can't remember what it was. Anyways, it was really neat. Here's a giant sea creature. That swam around in the oceans of Alberta back in the 74 million-ish range. Nautiluses and whatnot. So pretty cool stuff. This is a bunch of cool art. I hope I can show all this. And don't not get a copyright strike or something. I don't know. But it's really cool. Someone like took a lot of time drawing all these things really realistically, and I don't know, I really appreciated it. All the different skulls and variations on creatures that you can have. There's there's 3 or 4 more picture sets as you kind of walk up this rampway. It was pretty cool. Got to see some of the, I don't know, similarities and maybe the evolution of creatures and stuff. Also made me think about like how even most fictional creatures kind of all fit within the realm of other ones. This was a cool mammoth. I really like this guy. He's just like jumping at the mammoth, and it just made me think of something I want to add in my mod. I don't know. I mean, there are mountain lions in the game, but the AI might need to be changed. This is some kind of giant sloth. Yeah, it's cool. Triceratops. We get to walk down there later on, but this is the view from up above. Some of the pictures, that's the T-Rex from up above. He doesn't look so impressive from up here in this picture, but he was big. Very, very big. This was a sort of a oceanic area. I guess this is the Cambrian explosion, where body plans of all animals started to go kind of crazy. Segmented Hox genes kind of took over, and yeah, this guy was really cool. He just looks so alien, like something you'd see in like Rick and Morty or something. This guy is a pretty cool predator. I forget what they're called, but everything is blown up 12 times, so they're actually, you know, much smaller than this. This was a fossil of a dried up mud lake. There's a very armored fish that, yeah, was the skull. This is a representation of some of the oceans back then. Very cool. Cephalopods and other kind of creatures in there, corals and other things. Yeah, this one, cephalopods actually had shells instead of just like fleshy bits over there, tiny remnants of of whatever shells. This was really cool glass artwork. Yeah, it was really neat. All overhead and stuff, so it was kind of cool. This creature just looked freaking cool. I gotta zoom in on this and figure out what it was, because yeah, just like looked mean and nasty. It's pretty sweet. More skulls of reptiles. This was a giant, I guess, ichthyosaurus. Giant creature. Like, that's 20 or 30 feet long. I don't even remember. This is sort of a representation of what the plant-like might be like back in the day. Here's a stegosaurus. Why? Because it has a thagomizer on its tail. There it is. And cool little plates. I want to make an axe sort of based off of their plates, because I think that'd be good for splitting skulls. The Brontosaurus leg, or, well, no, you know, Brontosauruses may not be the thing, but Apatosaurus. Giant long-necked ones. Big dinosaurs. I mean, I don't want to copy dinosaurs in my mod. Oh, this is a giant Triceratopsy thing. Or of that family. Because Ark already does, you know, dinosaurs pretty thoroughly, so But, you know, it just kind of gives a range of the possibilities for the mutated or extra-dimensional creatures. I like the size of some of these creatures too, and I think that 7 Days needs more small creatures too. Ornithomimus, big kind of creature that ran around really quick. I think it was maybe around 6 feet-ish. I think something on that scale and kind of general body plan would be fun to have. Quite a lot of scary creatures could be like that. A type of turtle. And was this an ankylosaurus? I liked the club on the end of its tail. Once again, this would be so much better with a 3D camera. This is a bunch of the underwater creatures. This is like the long-necked plesiosaurus, was it? Super crazy long-necked thing that could just like feast on fish pretty efficiently, apparently. That's what they think, anyhow. Which is probably true. It probably could reach into a swarm of, like a school of fish and swim around it, and the fish would probably be afraid of its body and not pay so much attention to its head. But that's just guessing based on current animal creatures. I don't know. This is the T-Rex from down below. It's sort of hard to put it into scale. And then, of course, the dinosaurs died out and we have mammals, which may have caused the extinction of the dinosaurs helped on by eating all their eggs. I actually kind of like that theory more than the asteroid. But, of course, the asteroid did happen, but it's kind of crazy how the two things sort of really demolished the dinosaurs. Here's a bunch of Stone Age weapons with like sinew, rock, and stick, right? I took a close picture of these because I wanted to figure out what they would look like for my mod or other games in the future. Who knows? So yeah, here's some Stone Age spears. Probably fire hardened, I'm guessing. Anyways, us, the new Predator. Yeah, we're quite the beast. Yeah, some more cool pictures. Some of these I think might be out of original order, but there's the creature, the jumping saber-toothed lion from up above. I just think it would be kind of fun to have something like that in the game. This is once again the, I guess, mastodon or woolly mammoth or whatever. Used to be a lot. There's the giant sloth. Used to be a lot more up on my names for all these things, but I just haven't had the chance to really stay up on them all. Giant elks and stuff, giant wood buffaloes that used to exist around like 12,000 years ago or something like that. Just, I don't know, some of these numbers are off the top of my head. Yeah, there's me. I'm as much as a bighorn sheep. So that's what all of us weighed. Yeah, just like a giant lion thing. That's a normal buffalo versus the old school buffalo that used to roam around on the prairies. And that's like I can't remember what it was, like a king elk or something. Doesn't really have the name on there very well anymore. I thought that was a creature that kind of looked like Gozar. I don't know. A dire wolf, maybe? Ah, yes. Here's the world's most largest dinosaur. It's like 2 or 3 stories tall. Just a bit of a series of pictures going up, up, and up. It's just like immense. So it's quite a thing. And it kind of got really stormy and windy at this point too, which was kind of crazy. So here's the view from up top. Holy cow, it's quite the thing. Across the street you can see these other dinosaurs. We'll take some pictures of those soon as I come down. But here's a little bit of a, not a panorama. I was hoping that Google, sometimes it does it where it automatically stitches your pictures together in a panorama. It didn't do it for mine, no. So, boo freaking who. And then I would have just like done a nice smooth pan for you guys. I had it all planned out, but it didn't work out. And without their photo stitching, it don't really have the time to do much more. And that's the entire panorama, I believe. Maybe one more. That's okay, because I'm going over there right away, so that's why I was thinking that I would take a picture of it. Yeah, this is some sort of Triceratops. It looks pretty good in person. Stegosaurus. It's a pretty big creature. Some kind of Carnosaur, maybe. Carnosaurus, maybe? I don't remember what they call that guy. I ought to look it up. I think I had the plan to look it up, but just didn't. So, This was like in the middle of like a super windy moment, so it was just like, it was really hard to take pictures, getting blasted by dust actually. There's a little baby Triceratops right near the other one. It's alright. It looked pretty good overall. I think its eyes might have looked a bit weird, but maybe that's sort of normal. But, you know, there's a variety of dinosaurs. Like this guy in Drumhellar. I thought this was really cute. Then there's that guy sitting over there. So yeah, it's a town that definitely has gone through. This one was a cute one too, just sitting on the bench. Yeah, it's gone pretty far away. This is in Calgary now. This is at the zoo the next day. This is for my South African friends. This is supposed to apparently be some kind of like representation of a ranger's hut in South Africa. I don't know if they got it from a real set of photos or what, but that is sort of what it represents. Yeah. So if you ever wanted to build one of those, I guess it would be, you know, have these things in it. Lots of these blocks look fairly familiar to me, so there you go. This creature, man, these little pygmy alligators, I really liked them. Oh no. Yeah, just zoom in on this, and it's just like, they look so evil with their black eyes. They're not black beady eyes. And here's a little baby monkey. I don't know. It was super cute, albino little guy. And here's some birds. I didn't include most of the pictures of these birds because they're all kind of hiding away. Meerkat hiding in the bushes, and it was hard to tell without 3D. Some porcupines, 4 or 5 of them huddled together. Lizard of some kind, I forget. The big animals, like the giraffes, were pretty cool. As always, some hippos enjoying the sun in Calgary, which it doesn't, you know, in the summer it gets a lot, but zebra? Yeah, I think there's a zebra. Some lions. Kind of hit or miss with some of the animals. You never know what you're going to see up close or not. These are dromedars, 2-humped camels. Man, they are huge. Like, way bigger than I remember. Monitor lizard. Very deadly bite. Got some pictures of that guy. He's a pretty neat little guy. And the panda. Hal, how's it going? Sleeping there. Here's another one of those little guys, just sort of chilling out in the shade, I guess. This is in the dinosaur park. Kind of had to rush through this part. But the Pterodon and Struthiomimus, I believe, as well as some sort of Strachiosaurus, I believe they might call this guy. And the next day, on the road, back towards the mountains. This is sort of the foothills. This is what this biome looks like. Usually the trees and stuff pick up, and the mountains get taller and taller and rockier until they get snowier and snowier. So there is that. So yeah, you start getting into these passes that have snow all the way around them. Yeah, these are just like enormous mountains. If you're still with me, congratulations for making it so far. I don't have a gift for you, but man, yeah, it was quite the trip. And this is I had to cut a bunch of pictures out. Still, this is the last spike, I believe. This is a site in one of the joining sections of the Canadian Railway, where in the late 1800s they joined the East and West rail system. Yeah, this is the Enchanted Forest. It's got some neat stuff in it that we couldn't see because we were 3 days early, so that sucked. But it's got a cool castle and lots of fun things inside. I recommend looking at pictures or going yourself. This is in Salmon Arm. The fog was like creeping down the mountains towards us. Oh yeah, this was like an idea about getting on the roof. I was just like, yeah, this is the next day. I tried to get a picture of this just to kind of be like, hey, what's actually inside these things? Because they never put this in the hotels in Navisgain or anything. They don't have those cleaning areas that people have. This I guess is on the way to Kamloops, or maybe this is after Kamloops going south. It starts to get rainier and crappier. I think there was warnings that some sections were wet and not wet, but sort of black ice-ish, but not quite. Here's one of the rest stops we stopped at. Was great. Had a little bit of a snowball fight here with the kids. It was pretty sweet. Quite beautiful. I always love going back to the snow. Winter in British Columbia, if you guys can, want to read up on that. There's a bunch of like circles. Number 4 is more relevant to me. Yeah, just some really cool areas up there. This is down in Hope, way lower, closer to the ocean. We stopped in this park and played. There was a tour of Japanese people, no, people from Hong Kong. It was pretty fun interacting with them. And they had these really cool carvings and stuff. So we kind of hung out and, looked at some of those for a little while. Yeah, it was pretty fun. And this is pretty much back home this is on the way. Anyways, we got to the ferry and took off from there. It was really late. I think it was actually dark. This is from actually a previous trip that I'd taken. But this gives the gist of what it's like. You leave the ferry terminal and you just go across the strait and yeah. Anyhow, if you guys like this video at any point, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel and like what you see, hit the subscribe button. We'll be getting back to more 7 Days to Die pretty soon. Alpha 18 will be coming out in a bit. And yeah, I will see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.